Hi there, Mike.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at noon.
I'm News 6 Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. We are tracking a trio in the tropics, but there is one we need to keep close tabs on. We'll have more on that coming up in just minutes.
But first, new developments after the death of a man on a roller coaster at Epic Universe. The family of Kevin Zavala has hired high-profile attorney Ben Crump to represent them. Crump is already out with a list of demands. It all comes as both the state and the sheriff's office are revealing new details about their investigation. News 6's Mark Lehman is following the latest, where he's learning how this ride was operating at the time.
According to Universal Orlando's president, the ride was functioning as intended. Deputies, meanwhile, are working to determine if there was any case of negligence, and all of this is happening as the attorney for Zavala's family is calling for full transparency. As an investigation is ongoing into last week's death involving a man at Epic Universe, the Orange County Sheriff's Office has also directed the ME to not release reports related to the death of Kevin Zavala. In a statement to News 6, OCSO saying, in cases which appear at first glance to be accidental deaths, which this case does, detectives must determine whether there is any negligence, whether criminal or non-criminal. An incident report stated Zavala had a pre-existing spinal injury, and a GoFundMe page includes pictures of him in a wheelchair. The chief medical examiner determined his manner of death was an accident and the cause multiple blunt impact injuries. Universal Orlando president and COO Karen Irwin sent a memo to staff saying internal findings confirmed that the ride systems functioned as intended, equipment was intact, and team members followed procedures. The Department of Agriculture backing that up with a statement of their own, saying the department's current findings align with those shared by Universal after monitoring the same tests and reviewing the same information. Meanwhile, Zavala's family has retained civil rights attorney Ben Crump, writing to us, "A man has died after boarding a ride that should have been safe. We will hold all responsible parties to account and fight to ensure Kevin's family receives the answers and justice they deserve." Crump has also called for investigators to release maintenance logs and inspection records for the ride. Meanwhile, we're learning the GoFundMe established by Zavala's family has raised more than $26,000. We posted a link to that under this story on clickorlando.com. In Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Time now to get a check of your forecast. Here's what it looks like for you right now from our live camera in Daytona Beach, and we're already seeing some showers and thunderstorms starting to pop. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here, and Candace, you've been talking about a trio of tropical stuff in one area that we are keeping an extra close eye on.
I wouldn't call them all trouble, but there is one that's going to be one that we, of course, want to keep a close eye on. All right, so let's talk about it. You saw how rough the surf was out there. That is all due to Category 4 Hurricane Gabrielle that is pulling away from Bermuda, thankfully never making landfall. But then again, we are watching a set of waves. As of early this morning, they are now designated Invest 93L and 94L. Now, we are looking at 94 as the potential for it to get a little closer than we would typically like, especially this time of the year. And you can see that the kind of little area, the polygon area that the National Hurricane Center is highlighting is where they're expecting the system to potentially go. So because we now have them technically designated as an invest, we are going to get those routine futurecast tropical models. You can see the spaghetti models for Invest 93 pretty in line with each other. Not the same here with Invest 94. Notice how wide the discrepancy is, and that is why this is the system that we need to be watching closely. As it moves a bit closer towards the Bahamas by late this week and into the weekend, we'll have to really see what factors are in play to potentially steer the system away. In the meantime, though, we are tracking plenty of tropical moisture. It's already starting up the sea breeze, some heavy downpours from Merritt Island all the way down through Rockledge. We'll have more details on the timing of today's rain and a look at, again, at some of the steering patterns that we're going to be tracking all ahead of Invest 94 coming up in just a little bit.
Candace, thank you. In Flagler County, an 18-year-old motorcyclist is dead after first hitting a deer and then getting run over by a car. It happened last night around 9:30 on State Road 100 just west of Briarwood Drive in Bunnell. The Florida Highway Patrol says a deer ran in front of the motorcyclist before he hit the deer and crashed. A car then ran over the motorcyclist. The report says the driver of the car didn't know the motorcyclist was there. New at noon, Florida Highway Patrol shared photos of one of their patrol cars hit hard in a 5-vehicle crash. It happened on the Florida Turnpike near the 417 in Orange County on Friday. Here's what one of their cruisers looked like. FHP says as a semi-truck changed lanes, sideswiped a Camry, causing a Dodge Ram to swerve, collide with both vehicles, and overturn. The Ram then hit the parked FHP car, pushing it in front of a Buick SUV. The trooper standing outside of the car jumped out of the way. Both the trooper and the Ram driver were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. No other drivers were hurt. We're getting more details about a house fire in Orange County. We first told you about it last night at 11. Apopka firefighters and crews from Orange County were called out around 4 to a home on Shopkey Road near Apopka. When crews arrived, 75% of the building was engulfed in flames. No one was hurt. So far, the cause of the fire has not been released. Sunrail commuters will soon feel the impacts of a big change. Seminole County commissioners unanimously approved more than $11 million to keep the train running as local governments take over operations from the state. News 6's Angie Casada is at the Sanford station with what this means for drivers.
For daily commuters, Sunrail is a lifeline, but now that counties and cities are going to be taking over, some are worried that local control could mean higher costs and more red tape. Every morning, Sidney Smith catches Sunrail in Seminole County riding to his job in Orange County.
I think it's huge. I heard a guy talking, I normally take it most mornings. He was saying, I used to drive an hour and now I get to work an hour, and I do the similar thing.
Starting next year, the state hands operations over to Seminole, Orange, Osceola, and Volusia counties, along with the city of Orlando. Each will pay a share based on ridership. Seminole's bill is projected $11.5 million.
How is it going to impact me as a commuter? You know, is my cost of ticket going to go up? Are my taxes going to go up? Like, how are they going to end up paying for it?
Volusia will be about $6.5 million next year, but forecasted to increase each year. And Orlando's share is the highest at $18 million. Residents like Smith rely on affordable transit and hope local leaders can keep costs on track.
Because there's so many different parties being involved in like what's going into the train process, the different counties, everyone's not going to agree on the even scheduling of it overall, so it can cause a lot of trouble when there's a lot of heads at the table.
Reporting in Sanford, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
As News 6 first reported this morning, the town of Eatonville could soon reclaim the historic Hungerford school site. The land is currently owned by the Orange County School District and has been the center of a legal fight for years. But as News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden shows us, a familiar charity is stepping in with a big plan for the future.
The property sits at the corner of Hungerford and Keller Road and has been in the crosshairs of controversy for decades.
This is bigger than big. When you have a town that for so many years, even decades, citizens have come to believe that nothing is going to happen.
Eatonville was founded in 1887 by formerly enslaved people. It is recognized as the first self-governing all-black municipality in the United States. People who live here have heard promises before.
We have been neglected for years.
Longtime residents like Michelle Fort says she's ready to see real change.
We want better for our home. We don't want a handout. We want somebody to partner in to say, we believe in what you believe in.
Mayor Gardner says this deal is different.
Now we have a 100-year organization with a proven record of helping and partnering with communities that are saying, hey, we'll get it done for you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That partner is Dr. Phillips Charities. Its chairman tells News 6 protecting Eatonville's legacy means more than just buying land.
We'll work very, very hard to make sure that there's little to no displacement of residents. We want to work with the mayor and her team to make sure that we increase the percentage of owner-occupied homes in this community, to stabilize this community, so that we protect the legacy and the history of Eatonville.
Under the agreement, Dr. Phillips Charities will pay $1 million up front. The rest of the purchase price is forgiven as milestones are completed.
This is more than a land deal. This is a legacy.
In Eatonville, Ginger Gadsden, News 6.
The Orange County School Board is set to vote on the proposed deal September 30th. Mayor Gardner says she's ready to put years of anticipation into action.
If your mailbox has a lien that you can't get rid of, normally the answer is bags of concrete here, right? Well, hold on. We're going to try out this stuff. It's totally different, just 15 bucks. I'm the handy newsman. We're getting results at home coming up.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
What you working on?
No! I was trying to get the mailbox straight.
Oh, it looks straight to me.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah!
Normally, you'd fix this by putting a couple of bags of concrete down in the hole, setting this in place and letting it dry. But hold on. I've been hearing about this stuff. I picked up a bag at the hardware store. It's foam in a bag that's supposed to be just like concrete. Perfect for projects like this, mailboxes and fence posts and even light posts. Nothing structural though. Let's give it a shot. Now, before we do this, I just want to warn you, it goes super quick, and wear gloves because this stuff can be kind of messy. We're going to roll up the bag, we're going to mix the bag, cut the end, pour it in right away, and then set the mailbox right away. You only got 15 seconds to mix the stuff, and then 10 seconds to straighten this out. Look for the arrows, roll up the bag just like a roll of toothpaste. Hear that pop? Now the liquid has mixed. We're gonna mix it on our knee. This is according to the instructions for 15 seconds. I know it's mixing because it's getting warm. Immediately cut open the bag so it doesn't explode. Pour it in. So the foam's expanding, it's starting to firm up. It's supposed to set in 3 minutes and then dry to full strength in just 2 hours. Once it is dry, instructions say to use a big knife to cut off the excess foam. And now, just cover it up with dirt or mulch. Wobbles a little bit, but at least it stays straight now, right? I think we got results at home.
Okay, my mind is blown there with that one. All right, turning to your forecast now at 12:15. Let's take a live look outside. This is our Lunch Credit Union camera out there at Port Canaveral. This is a very Florida shot, Candace. We have
really
some sun, we have some rain, we have some cruise ships. So some folks are already dealing with some rain, and you have a lot to get to in the tropics as well.
Don't forget, and the blowing palm fronds there, blowing palm trees, right? It really is a very cliche, very summer-like picture, right? And that's exactly what we're going to be experiencing throughout the rest of today and throughout the rest of the week. Very summer-like. So that one-touch radar on our free News 6 weather app is going to be great help today as you're trying to navigate after-school activities and games and car lines and just after-work activities, because we're going to be dealing with some of this. You can see already some of those heavier downpours right now falling in and around the Cape, where we had that live shot, Port St. John all the way down through Rockledge. This rain's not really moving much, but it is dumping a lot of rain. And the main reason for it is because although these sea breeze storms are still very summer-like, they have a little more tropical oomph to them. So certainly do expect some of those heavier downpours to start rolling in further inland into the afternoon and early evening hours. So this is what you can expect for today. Rough surf from swells from Hurricane Gabrielle, which maintains its Category 4 strength with sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. But our rain chances will increase for today and then stay pretty elevated throughout the rest of the week, sounding, smelling a lot like summer across Central Florida. And we are still watching, besides Hurricane Gabrielle, 2 other waves, with one that we should be watching pretty closely. And again, I'll show you why in just a second. Widening out the view, plenty of tropical moisture streaming in out of the south. And while we won't see this direct moisture, it's going to help kind of fuel and inject extra instability into the atmosphere, which is why we will continue to see an enhanced chance for those scattered showers. So around 1, 2 o'clock, you can see the rain will start to develop across our inland zones. Scattered, quick-moving downpours will be possible. Some of the storms will become a little more erratic as the sea breezes come together, so we're going to hold the chance about 60% till about sundown. Then as we fast forward the clock till Wednesday, you can see the storms once again lining up just like they're doing this afternoon, and then everything will continue to push inland. Is it going to be a washout of a week? No, not by any means, but it will be very similar and very related to a kind of a summer setup. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Tuesday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Our highs this afternoon, 91, but the factoring in of the humidity will make it feel even hotter, closing in on up to 103 degrees. I just mentioned right before that we were talking about some of those long period swells making their way in all the way here to Central Florida. So for boaters today and tomorrow, the seas will be a little bit on the moderate chop, but do expect still a high risk of rip currents both today and tomorrow due to Hurricane Gabrielle. So as Gabrielle continues to venture out into the northern Atlantic with a gradual weakening trend, our eyes and our focused back here to these 2 different waves. We have one that's about 1,000 miles away from the Lesser Antilles. That has a 90% chance of becoming our next named storm, which is Umberto on the list. And then we have one a little closer, riding right over the Lesser Antilles at this point with a 60% chance, a medium chance that it could develop. But look where this invest is expected to go. You can see we'll be rushing the northern side of the Caribbean islands, possibly moving into the Bahamas by late this week and into the weekend. We are watching 2 other little factors, though, that could help kind of deflect any tropical impacts from us here along Central Florida. You can see we are watching a cold front as well as an upper level low. The big question, though, is will that front and that low arrive in time to deflect that storm away from us? We'll have to wait and see. Computer models do not have a very good handle on the future of this storm. So make sure to check back daily, routinely, and making sure that you're kind of keeping an eye on what possibly could be nearing our coast come Sunday and Monday of next week. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas will have our next update later on this evening. Julie.
Candace, thank you. Raising the retirement age for pilots is back on the table in the nation's capital. Coming up, the reason why the Senate Transportation Committee chair is urging the White House to support the idea and why the aviation union is opposing the move. Here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. The debate over how long pilots should be allowed to fly passenger planes is back in the spotlight. Senate Transportation Committee Chair Ted Cruz is urging the White House to support raising the international retirement age for pilots from 65 to 67. Cruz says the change would keep experienced pilots in the cockpit longer. The International Civil Aviation Organization is set to consider the proposal this week. The International Air Transport Association says a cautious increase won't compromise safety, noting no problems when the age limit was previously raised from 60 to 65 in 2006. But aviation unions strongly opposed the move, citing health declines and a lack of research on older pilots. Try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. And watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We'll be right back.
All right, the next couple of days will look very well summer-like as highs will stay in the low 90s, feeling like the triple digits already. We're watching some heavy downpours falling across parts of Brevard and southern Volusia County at this point in time. So we're going to be tracking more rain and storms into the afternoon, but just beware that we are watching an area in the tropics. It's not a huge concern as of right now, but it is something that the models will be fluctuating quite a bit over the next couple of days. So make sure to stay tuned and continue to check back.
Have a great day.